my name's Diane Murphy and I've been a holistic nutritionist for the last 8 years. Over the years, I've had several clients ask me one question in particular. What is the one thing that I can do that'll make me feel great in a short period of time? After taking a look at their food diary, the answer is pretty much the same about 90% of the time. I tell them that I think they should go off all gluten grains and all dairy for at least 2 weeks. They usually wish they hadn't asked me at this point, but they're still intrigued as to why I would want to sever the relationship between them and the beloved two BFFs, wheat and dairy. Admittedly, they go well together. We've got pizza, cheeseburgers, cheese and crackers, grilled cheese, macaroni and cheese. And then there's the delayed reaction that occurs when they realize they can't have cream in their coffee.
You mean I can't have cream in my coffee? Not even milk? Is milk dairy?
Needless to say, my client is, well, less than impressed by my suggestions. So we need to keep talking because it's important to me that they have all the information they need to make an educated decision regarding their health, which is my first priority. So we sit back down again. And although these are major staples in the home for many people and were for me for many years, gluten and dairy, your gluten grains are wheat, spelt, barley, rye, and kamut, can unfortunately have negative effects on our health. For example, they are the two most common allergens. They can cause inflammation in the body, and inflammation is known as the cornerstone of disease. Can cause bloating and other digestive ailments, and a host of other symptoms that we might not relate to food, such as joint pain, weight gain that we can't get rid of, sleeplessness, moodiness, migraines, and several other symptoms. So clients ask me, well, what is going on here? Why is this happening? We grew up with Wonder Bread and we had our 3 glasses of milk a day because that's what we were supposed to do to be healthy. And I grew up with that too. So then I explain the proteins in gluten and dairy that can cause these issues. So let's take dairy, for example. There's a protein in dairy called casein, and it's a very difficult molecule to break down. In fact, it needs over 20 plus enzymes to break it down. But these enzymes, unfortunately, are destroyed in the pasteurization process. So then what do we have? We're consuming these dairy products and these very difficult to digest casein proteins. So these partially undigested molecules then start to poke holes in our intestinal lining, causing something called a leaky gut. So the protein molecules leak into our blood system, which sets off the immune system because now there are foreign invaders. So the immune system sends out these antibodies to attack these foreign invaders, and the two meet, and then an allergy is born. And we have a leaky gut, which is like a sieve. Think of a sieve. So nutrients that we need to absorb are getting lost, and toxins that we want to eliminate are floating around the bloodstream, potentially spawning disease. And a good thing to know is that 70% of our immune system lies along our gut lining. So if the digestive system is wonky, then the communication between the digestive system and the immune system and our brains are going to be compromised, unfortunately. So does this mean that going off gluten and dairy is going to cure us of everything that ails us in the 2 weeks? No, not necessarily. Although you will probably feel remarkably better while you're off. If you go back to eating them the way that you were before, then your symptoms will likely come back. But what you will get is an amazing insight into how your body works and to how these foods are affecting you, which puts you in a very good position to find a strong starting point to getting better. So now at this point, my client is usually having more of a general acceptance toward going off wheat and dairy for a couple of weeks. Actually, maybe even gluten and dairy for a couple of weeks. At this point, some of them may or may not be in the fetal position on the floor, kind of wondering what they're going to eat now.
What? No wheat or dairy? What am I going to eat all week? I'm going to starve.
So now we're making progress. Now I need to beam in like a ray of sunshine and introduce them to the delicious world beyond the cheddar-flavored goldfish. As I mentioned earlier, I've had this conversation many times. I've met with several clients over the years who have expressed their challenges in eliminating these two major staples from their home. And I get it too, because I've been there. In fact, it inspired me to co-author this book called Eat Your Way to Feeling Fabulous. And there's a ton of gluten and dairy-free recipes that are delicious, healthy, easy to make. and can make the process a little bit easier and make it more exciting. And there's tons of those books on the market. There's lots of recipes on the internet, so you're never alone. Build a support system, get other people to do it with you if you need to. But the results never cease to amaze me. You know, I hear people saying that they either achieved what they wanted to achieve by it, or even if it didn't eliminate the symptom they were thinking it would, it eliminated others. And most often I hear about a domino effect. So I'm sleeping better, I'm not as tired in the afternoon, my pants are a little bit looser, which is always nice, my joint pain is going, anything at all. My skin is clearing up, anything is possible. I had a man tell me that it worked out great for him because his wife said he stopped snoring. I mean, that's great. And the possibilities are endless. So you can have a 10-year-old who's still wetting the bed. Try taking them off dairy. Or if you've got a 5-year-old with asthma, try taking them off gluten. You've got a 1-year-old with eczema, try taking them off both. What have you got to lose? Read the labels. Make sure there's no wheat or skim milk products in what you're choosing, and just go for it. So how do we get started? Well, preparation is definitely key. So get all the gluten and the dairy out of the house. That would be ideal. And bring in all the stuff that you want to eat. So make a grocery list. Shop the perimeters of the grocery store, more so than the aisles. The perimeters will have your produce, your fresh fruits and vegetables that you want to load up on, and then your nuts, seeds, meat, fish. Get some almond milk if you really feel like you need a dairy substitute. Just whatever dairy-free milk you choose, make sure that it's unsweetened. And as far as your coffee goes, I know this is always a hard one. This is what I do. I get the blender, I put my coffee in with a tablespoon of full-fat coconut milk from the can. I blend it up, and it's delicious. And I'm getting a great heart-healthy fat in there too. I know it sounds difficult and like it's going to be a challenge, but you can do it. It's only a couple of weeks. And I will say, the anticipation is always much harder than the process. Good luck.